Pretty bearish for ES to break demand. I obviously stopped out of that trade, but my stream is like not working today. What is this loading for? All right, I think we're good now. All right, well, obviously that trade did not work. It was just baiting me for absolutely no reason. But obviously I'm bullish for that trend line to break on NQ eventually. But right now I'm bearish for ES to break demand. I can't get in unless it gets another oscillation. You can get in. It's actually not too bad. And then you really wouldn't sell until NQ gets this low. That way the risk to reward makes sense. Um, yeah, I don't mind it. But you're betting on it to break pretty far. It's got a pretty good risk to reward. I think I'd honestly just rather take NQ short with how weak it ended up flipping. But it's getting lower lows with buying wicks on NQ, so I can't enter short. I can if it bounces and then it validates the bounce, but we will see. No, it is not a typo, Manny. 21 268 pivot to sweep. Well, 268.50. I'm bullish for that eventually. With ES dropping as much as it did, putting in bearish consolidation, it might not actually happen today. We'll see. But shorts look okay. I could get triggered in if I really wanted to on NQ to 170, but it was making lower lows with buying wicks there. So, but I mean, you guys can take it if you want. Today's price action has not been good. The only reason why I was able to barely make it out green because it was chopping in my direction, but also, I had this really nice trend line on ES2. It was perfect, but it swept it right before market open. Actually left the perfect double top up here. But right now, it looks like we're going to break this demand. It would be really cool if ES held this bounce because it would be a really easy short, but it's probably not going to. It's probably going to break it right now within the next candle and a half or so. Q looks pretty good to get to my blue line. If I were to enter short, I would need to enter up here. I can't enter with the risk reward being the way it is right now, but should get there. Wow, it is a lot weaker than ES. We might see NQ new low of day. That's what I'm starting to think is possibly going to happen. Stops are so freaking good, Bryce. Sometimes. Sometimes they are. With that last trade, the PT was so far away. I would typically put a closer stop loss than that, but it was so far away. That last trade had a great chance. I don't know why it put in that massive green candle if it wasn't going to continue. That was random, but that last trade I took is a trade I'd enter every single time. The YouTube stream missed it, so you guys missed out on a loss. But that's a trade I'd take again tomorrow. Like I have to get in that trade. But I don't know. NQ may want new low of day. I don't expect this 30-minute demand to hold. If we get a bounce here, I can enter short. Otherwise, it's just too late. And the reason I didn't enter short is, well, it's just kind of shitty because obviously I'm bearish to that blue line. I told you guys I'm bearish to the blue line when most of the bounce invalidates. The problem is I stopped out of that last long here. And at this time, I can't really enter short because not only do I have conflicting analysis, I'm still kind of bullish for that trendline break, but we have lower lows with buying wicks. Not a huge fan. This candle wasn't terrible, but we're just kind of chopping down. And then this candle's just too close to PT now. This candle's just too close to PT. I don't like the risk to reward much. And that's where we're at. Now that it's gotten this low, I'm okay entering all the way up here, but that's a really small trade for me. I'd really want it if I were to enter. I really want it to do something like this, and I'd enter right here. Otherwise, I guess if we come back up to here, I can be long to this high. I'm no longer just going to be long to this pivot. It's too far away for me. And with this rejection here, I think it's too unlikely just to get there. I'd rather take a long to, well, this is the bare minimum PT. You could sell at this PT, but for me, I'd look for new high of day. Look for the trend line test. I'd take it to here, sell, and then if it does something like this again, then I'll re-enter and take it to that pivot. I'm still not convinced that small 30-minute demand is going to hold price action. So, that's kind of conflicting analysis. We're off to a crappy start with the second hour of price action. As you guys know, I am net unprofitable during the second hour over the last like 2 months. I think barely. Like it's pretty 50-50. Um, it's the third hour that I start doing very well. Still leaning bearish on NQ though. I just don't think that an this demand's gonna hold on ES. And NQ just got a selling wick. Honestly, I'm tempted to even enter short right now. But I think I'm gonna wait till like I don't know. You could, it's just nothing's really high probability. So like the problem is for this candle, I have to wait for the last 10 seconds. And it's fairly likely to print a large candle all the way down to here, and then I can't get in because the risk to reward's not good enough. However, maybe I still could get in because I would just extend my PT further out. And the reason why I do that is because ES is going to take longer to break demand. And I'm bearish for ES to break demand. So honestly, I'm kind of willing to give it a shot. Yeah, I think I am. But my PT is ES demand break, not that NQ low. No, I gave it a shot. I'll give it a chance. We'll see what happens. That's a pretty tight stop loss. So yeah, you could put your PT here. It is above 1-to-1. But this low looks pretty decent right there, honestly. It is a kind of a baby pivot. All right, well, there's first PT hit. I'm looking for ES to break demand. I do want to sell, though. Not going to lie, I do want to sell. Because I feel like NQ is going to flip strong with it, sweeping this pivot. I'll stick with the original hypothesis. I'll sell when ES breaks demand. Whenever that may be, if it happens. You guys could take profits here if you want. Wow, that candle's closing very bearish. What the hell? No buying wick. Wow. Surprised I didn't get a buying wick. This is kind of acting as the buying wick, but let me actually document. Actually, I can't even document this trade. My finger's on the trigger to sell. I assume most of you guys are out. I sold it. Where did I fill at? 65.75 is where I filled. Oh, ES didn't technically break the demand. Damn it. I thought it did. Whatever. I sold. Could have made a little bit more money there because ES still hasn't broken the demand, but whatever. That was a good trade. Made back some of my last loss. The problem is that last loss was pretty big. The stop loss was as far away as I could possibly get it. But still, the stop loss was good. So I'm still down 75 per account right now, but whatever. Just document this. It's unfortunate I got to start off the day with a fat loss, but it's a very good setup. I'd take it again. This was like a 4.5 out of 5 tier. I filled that at 6575 on NQ, so I filled it right here. You know, that's not too shabby, folks. That is not too shabby of a sell at all. I'm very happy with that. And you know what? The reason I'm happy about it is because I can actually re-enter shorts, because now ES still kind of bearish for it to break demand, but that's a pretty good bounce. Now you could enter longs right here. I'm not willing to, because I think it's going to make a lower low. Hell, you could even enter shorts here, but it's just such a small scalp. For me, I'll enter shorts again if it comes back up to here and then goes down. But then at that point, we're starting to like flag. And I would I want to wait for price action to mix it up a bit. It's a good sell. I still think it's going to continue down though. Hopefully you guys got that. I got skunked today. First trade was green, then sold. Yeah, today wasn't a very good day. You know, the only reason why I was green on options because I was really heavy on one of my calls. Not really heavy, but I was a little bit heavier than full size on one of my call positions, and two of my losses I just kept as half size. That's really the only reason I was green today. You know, ES went completely sideways, and my pre-market sentiment was bullish. It didn't go up. I mean, it did go up for 30 minutes, kind of chopped its way up. That's where I made my money, but most of the time it didn't really do that. ES didn't go up at all, and Q went down here. So I'm very lucky to not have a big red day. It was like 50-50 this morning. The trades weren't bad either. They were fairly good. Now, if ES did sweep that demand, I would be bullish. I still, you know, that is a solid liquidity sweep. That's a solid lower low on NQ. That's a solid bounce. I could see it bouncing quite a ways. Not willing to enter though, especially during second hour. You know, I'm exposing myself just to get chopped up. But this is a nice long entry candle. This is kind of giving me flashbacks of yesterday, where I entered right here and ended up putting in an inverse head and shoulders. You guys remember that? By the way, I'll post to the YouTube my options review from yesterday and my futures review from yesterday after this session. Swaggy, I didn't actually move my stop loss higher. It was there originally. But I was busy. I had to start my journal. I had to start the YouTube stream. I had to set up the position. I just wasn't able to talk, but that was a good stop loss though. Could have maybe made it a little bit higher. You know, I could have stopped out at the end of this candle because I knew it was probably going to get to my stop loss by this candle, but too much work. Kazumu says, I've been reading the Mark D principles as well after each of my breaks instead of just before open. Helps a bunch. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. NQ's very strong. Looks great for longs. I mean, you could take a long from. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty tempted, but still bearish for ES to break demand, even though it's chopping up. I don't want to enter during this chop. You can take this entry if you want. Um, I'm just not willing to take a loss on it, to be honest. I would rather enter up here and look for new high of day. Or if we do put in an inverse head and shoulders and we at some point pull back, then yeah, I'd be willing to enter. But now I think I'll just sit on my hands. Well, that's bullish. I'm probably gonna have to enter anyways. Is that demand really gonna hold on ES though? This bounce isn't convincing on ES. It really isn't. But it's not like a major perfect double bottom or anything. So it's gonna be, guys, it's gonna bait me into calls. I feel like I'm gonna stop out if I enter here. Like I feel like it's gonna stop out. I just feel like it's destined. But see how the candle closes, but I think I'm gonna enter. You know, I'm confirmed in. It's just I feel like I'm gonna stop out, but I am very confirmed in. So I still have 8 more seconds till I can fill, and it's running without me. Too bad I didn't take that early entry, huh? At least I called it out, though. At least some of you guys were able to take it. Place my order. We'll see if it fills me. It did fill me. Cool. Let's see what happens. I feel like I'm gonna stop out, so take this with a grain of salt. I really do feel like I'm gonna stop out. I don't know why. I just don't have much confidence. Regardless, this is my stop loss. There's no good place to put a stop loss. Other trade was a good place. This is not. The reason why is because we have an inverse head and shoulders possible on NQ, which means it can pull back to here and bounce. It can pull back to here and bounce, or it can just go down. So you're kind of at the mercy of the market there. Regardless, I did put my PT one tick above that high, and we will see what happens. I hope it doesn't put in an inverse head and shoulders. And of course, I wish I took the earlier entry, but it's whatever. This is a fine trade as well. It's even though I'm not confident, I cannot not be in this trade. 110%. We got demand confirmation, invalidated majority of the move. I have a solid pivot. We have solid momentum. We have lower lows too. Have to get in. So I will see what happens. Got in at 189. Nice job, Reams. That's a great entry. To be honest, though, I don't think it ends up mattering because because I drew it out, and if I did enter early, I would have, my PT was here. Now, there's a chance I would have extended my PT to here and had a much bigger win, but knowing me, probably didn't do that. You know, guys, I think it may finally be time that it may happen. I kind of want to extend my PT up to the big pivot, but I also don't at the same time. I'd rather just enter on a pullback. It's a damn bullish chart, though. I'll tell you that much. This is a bullish chart with a bullish trend line. Yeah, this is this nice trend line as well. But the reason I'm only going for high day because there's so much resistance at that. How many supplies is that? I don't even know. That's like 5 supplies right here. And unfortunately, it's rejecting right before my PT, just a couple points early. But you know, because it's rejecting early, I do have good reason to extend my PT. Because if it invalidates this drop, that's more shorts to get squeezed out. Not a terrible idea. And kind of like yesterday, it's a damn big trend line. But what are the odds it does the same as yesterday? That's my thing. Because if we do pull back and we go up, I have every reason in the world to extend my PT. Same thing as yesterday, and I didn't. But what are the odds that the exact same thing happens? I don't know, but I'm very tempted to extend out my price target. The next major pivot is here, and I think it's fairly likely to get there without pulling back. And then I think if it had to pull back, it's going to pull back somewhere up here. I think I'm going to do it, guys. What do you guys think? Type in chat. I don't have very long to figure it out because I think it's going to hit. Because I like that it's pulling back beforehand. NQ's a lot stronger than ES. I do like it. Well, because it's rejecting here, I'm going to do it. Because it's rejecting here, I'm going to do it. Let's see if I made a bad decision. It'd be funny though, because yesterday I had every reason to extend my PT, and I didn't, and it worked out. And because that happened, I'm more willing to do it this time. And watch this time, it's not going to happen. But I really don't think if it hits new high of day, I think it's probably just going to get to this pivot. And honestly, I wouldn't blame it if it just kind of continues to this one. I hope it doesn't. Best case scenario, it does something like this. And then I re-enter longs for this. But I'm going to mark out high a day and see. It's just NQ is so damn strong too. I'm thinking if ES even gets to this high again, NQ is going to be at that pivot. So it's up to you guys. I'm moving my stop up just a little bit. I'm completely able to. There you go, just a smidge. $92 is where I moved it. And my hypothesis is if it gets to new high of day, it's also going to get here. It could just turn around and dump right now and stop me out, sure, but that's my hypothesis. If it does clear high of day and confirms the trend line breakout, I think this is a very, very, very conservative PT. Really, it wouldn't be bad to extend my PT all the way to my 168.50 price target. Like, look at this consolidation here. Look at the first leg, guys. Look at this. That's why I've been bullish today, and that's why I didn't really make any money this morning, because it didn't do what I wanted. But how can you not be bullish here? Like, look at the first leg. Look how large it is. Look how large the consolidation is. Look at the lower lows we put in. Look at the potential. That's textbook. I mean, it's literally textbook. That consolidation is more bullish than this one, and this one played out nicely. So, how long do I have to my PT? Okay, for some reason my PT isn't there, but oh wait, is something wrong? No. Why am I tripping right now? Oh. Oh, we didn't even get to high day, that's why. Okay, I thought we did. That's a higher high with a possible rejection, so that's not very bullish. But it didn't even get to high of day. So right now, my decision to extend it out doesn't even affect anything at the moment. It looks like NQ's flipping weak. That supply is really big. That supply is really heavy. It's a shame that that trend line was literally perfect right here, because I wouldn't have been bullish despite this supply. Hang on, I forgot to document this trade. Oh, NQ's chopping up. It's having a real hard time. Still hasn't gotten to high of day yet, but showing all the signs of reversing to the downside. But NQ is so much stronger than ES, and this is still bullish consolidation on ES. It looks so good, guys. Like, this looks splendid. If ES does even this, NQ will be at new high of day, in theory. And we'll have a bull flag on ES, which I am obviously bullish for it to continue going up. So really, if ES gets to here, I'm bullish for ES here. And by the time it's there, now we have a trend line that it could test or break it. Doesn't really matter. But we need ES to get a big green candle. We need this red candle to be invalidated. Problem was that was a pretty big volume spike on ES, indicating reversal, and so far it's been doing that. It's setting up to be a great, if you aren't in a trade, NQ is setting up to be a really nice long trade. Barely missed the pivot. You had a strong trend, pulling back, very likely to be bullish consolidation, or even just do something like this. This is a great long, even here. Not a huge fan of the higher highs, though. I think that adds a small probability that it does this. But the bigger it dips, the more bullish it's going to be if it comes back up. So I want a pretty big dip. It's not a very big dip. What did I say though? I said if ES invalidates that red candle, NQ is going to pretty much shoot up to high of day. That's what it's doing. ES not getting quite the size of a green candle that I want, but the goal is that this ES bull flag breaks to the upside, and that catalyzes a push on NQ to my second nearest pivot. But let's see if you guys that kept your PTs at high day are at least going to be able to take profits here. So it looks like it just missed it again. Again, I want it to pull back. Best case scenario, or just the biggest peace of mind scenario, would be if we pull back to here and then ended up curling up. I think it would be very likely. Be very confident it gets to my further PT. But all right, I'm gonna hang out on my phone until something interesting happens. No point in watching it at the moment. Well, we barely missed high of day. It's looking real good, guys. Really good. My stress isn't that this trade stops out. My stress is that I made the wrong decision, and me moving my PT further away screws me. So honestly, this drop right here induces absolutely no concern at all, because my priority is the fear to be wrong, and that would be moving my PT. But like I said, this pullback, if we invalidate this pullback, I will be so confident. Of course, it could just continue dropping and stop me out. That would really suck. But if we do invalidate this pullback, I will be so confident for not only new high of day, but that we get to my next pivot as well. And honestly, it wouldn't even look bad to continue up to my final PT, which is 268.50-ish on NQ. But that's if it goes back up. For now, this trend line just locked in its fourth touch, and this is a pretty damn good looking trend line. Very good looking trend line. Now, I would be upset if it just barely got a high of day and then pulled back, because I would have been able to sell here and then re-enter longs here for a second green trade. But really liking this setup. We'll see. If this drop invalidates, it'll be looking as good as it possibly can. However, ES still didn't actually break demand, and I'm surprised that demand held. So there's a chance that it could be going for that demand right now. And if it does, then I have to start thinking about the possibility of stopping out. Adjusting this trend line a little bit. It's still a pretty solid trend line. All right, I'm going to keep hanging out on my phone until something interesting happens. Looks absolutely scrumptious right now. Looks 10 out of 10. It would be a massive shame if it doesn't get to my look how much stronger NQ is than ES. So nice. Whereas if I entered ES, I'd be rocking around break even right now, just above break even. Scrumptious. I don't think you spelled that right, Lowen. I'm pretty sure there's a U somewhere in there. IOUS? I think so. Type in chat. What do you guys think? You guys think this is hitting PT or stop loss? What do you guys think? Any chance for a bounce? Nemo, I'm just now seeing the chat. My new setup will be done in by Friday, so I'll be able to watch the YouTube chat at the same time. Wish I had replay mode so I can just speed through these candles, knowing it's nowhere near my stop loss. So even if it does hit my stop, it's going to be a while till it does. Man, I'd be a great trader if I can just speed through candles. It'd be awesome. You gonna post a picture of the setup? Yeah, Stonky. At some point. I mean, I just have one of my monitors up. I had the other one up, but I accidentally stripped the freaking arm, so I had to buy a new arm and return the broken one. Because I'm a cheap ass. So I just got one right now. And my old Mac M1, my Mac Mini M1 is powering it fine. It's not on the highest resolution or anything, but it's doing its job. Except everybody in Canada hates Trudeau. Yeah, that's. Keep in mind, I'm in a very Republican bubble, and obviously Canadians don't really have Republicans, but yet conservative people. Most trading people are Republican, and I don't really know any Canadians that aren't trading people. So I only know Canadian Republicans that don't like Trudeau. So so I would say I don't know anyone that likes Trudeau, but at the same time, I'm not exposed to a diverse population, a diverse group of worldviews because I'm in this specific industry. And typically, trading people lean more conservative because of taxes. That's the big thing. Okay, so we got to new high day. Now the question will be, will I get absolutely scammed? I hope not. But all you guys that just hit high of day, you guys just took profits. That's awesome. NQ is putting in a reversal candle. I mean, there's a chance it could be Destiny. That yesterday's PT extension would have worked, but I didn't do it, so it baits me into doing this one just so it can smash me. I tell you what, though, if this one doesn't work, you guys aren't going to see me extending my PTs for a very long time. It's been a while. This is the first PT extension I've had in a long time. I think like over a month. Yeah, I do swaggy, but I just bought the new Mac Mini M4 Pro. So that's what I'm waiting on Thursday. That'll power everything. It'll be a lot better. Revenge extending PT. It's definitely not what this was. It was very warranted. However, if we dip further, even though it could get to my further PT, if we dip just a little bit further, it's getting an X in the journal because if I kept my PT at high of day and it dips far enough, I would be able to re-enter longs when it invalidates the majority of the dip. So if it does something like this, I'd be able to re-enter longs for a second green trade. So me extending my PT actually hurt me more than it helped me. Um, by pretty much you know, a whole green trade. So waiting to see if that's gonna happen. You gotta journal stuff like that, small things. Now, if it just goes right back up here, I don't think I can enter long. You know, with it chopping up and in supply. I mean, I could, but the PT's a bit too close now. Yeah. So the only way me extending my PT gets an X in my journal is if it stops me out or dips low enough to where I missed out on an extra green trade because of it. I'm gonna hop back on my phone. This is taking too long. NQ needs to hurry up and squeeze, because if it doesn't squeeze here soon, I think shorts are going to win and this thing's going to dump. So hurry up, please. I'm not liking this chopping up. I'm seeing a rising wedge forming in supply, which I don't want to see. There's enough shorts in here to squeeze, but I need it to happen within the next like 2 candles. ES is at this trend line again, and it looks like it's trying to break. There's a squeeze. Told you guys it needs to happen right now or it's not going to happen. It missed my PT by a single tick. By one singular tick. Do not do that to me. I feel myself always start tweaking whenever that happens. There we go, PT hit. All right, so that helped me more than it benefited, or sorry, it helped me more than it hurt me, because I would have not re-entered longs right here. I would have only re-entered longs if we dipped further. Now, obviously, I am bullish to 268.50, but I'm unwilling to hold that far. Type in chat, what do you guys rate that trade? That's a big journal entry right there. So that's 2 times in a row me extending my PT out would have helped me. So you gotta take note of that. It's at 9:26. Well, I started out this session rough, but I'm in a better mood now. Definitely better than options though, you know. I was gonna trade options during this, because I'm bullish for the trend line to break. That's what I wanted this morning. I didn't get it, which is why I wasn't technically red, but I pretty much count it as a red day. That's why I wasn't happy nor very profitable this morning, but looks like the hypothesis was correct, so that's pretty good. So I wouldn't be surprised if it gets to my 268.50 PT. That's the big one. I gotta wait for consolidation or something. Do I want to take another loss? I do not, but we will see. We're an hour in and only 3 trades deep, and look at that. The second hour price action was actually pretty good. It was pretty good. Didn't get much chop. I got chop where I wanted to see. I told you guys I wanted this pullback here before high of day, because that would give me great odds of hitting the next PT. But no, this is good price action. Even though I lost this trade here, that doesn't mean price action was bad. Price action was pretty good. Very good second hour. A breath of fresh air for sure. What about you guys in the YouTube chat? You guys did good? Your analysis is incredible. Sometimes it's incredible. Sometimes it's shit, but as long as it's profitable more than 50% of the time, I'm happy. The Mile says, "You've made me so much money, dude. I've always imagined you were some British dude." Yeah, I'm not British. I am definitely American. However, the smartest traders I know are Brit. Well, the only genius trader I've ever met is a British Indian dude. You never know he's Indian because he sounds just British, but yeah, whenever I hear like a British guy talk about trading, I just kind of assume he's a great trader. Jay Luna says, "I'm up $400 for the day." Nice job, dude. So I'm bullish for this next pivot. I mean, you could enter if you want to. It's just for me, I'm probably gonna have to. I think it's just gonna go straight up, guys. If it doesn't, I mean, I could enter, but you know, no, it's probably just gonna go right there. So I could have extended my PT further. I hope it doesn't get straight there because I'd like to enter, but I'm not entering unless it does some kind of. It doesn't need to pull back though. I mean, it already consolidated, so unfortunately, I'm probably gonna have to sit it out. But the analysis from this morning was good. Sucks that didn't happen, but I'm glad that it did end up happening at some point today, because all those TA alerts I sent out, you guys were able to make money on them if you stuck around. Which if I lose money on my hypothesis, but it ends up playing out later, that validates the hypothesis. I'm happy about that. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, even dip buying this red candle is pretty good. But for me to enter, let's see, the bare minimum trade I'd want to take is about 60 ticks ish. I mean, I would take this one. That's kind of bare minimum. I just don't want to have to put my stop loss that close. So really, if I'm going to enter, it's going to need to pull back and then kind of come up. However, I think it's probably going to want more than one oscillation. We'll have to see. Hang on. I get a nice trend line here. Yeah. Possible rising wedge on ES. I don't really care though. It's not a very big deal for me. I don't think it's very likely to play out. If it does play out, I hope it happens like right now, so I don't enter this long. But, you know, if we pull back to this pivot here and get a nice old-fashioned support retest, previous resistance becomes support, you know, the level 1 retail trader strat, I think I'm willing to take a little stab at it. Honestly, I'd want to go to the next supply. I'd want to go to here. What are the chances that it gets that pivot without getting that supply? Wait a minute, where even is this pivot? Oh, I forgot. It's all the way back here. Yep. Yeah, I'm loving this pullback. I need it to go further. I can still enter if it doesn't go further, but I really don't want to. I want it to go as far as possible. Sweeping this mini area of liquidity right here would be nice. See the volume profile? It didn't quite do it. Well, if it invalidates that entire red candle, I'm probably going to hop in and give it a chance, but I'm probably just going to go to this supply right here. You could just go to the pivot, but what are the chances that it goes to the pivot, not the supply? I don't think it's very high. But the lower it goes, the better, to a certain degree. Beautiful. That is good. That is very good. Very good. All right, well, that rising wedge is very valid on ES. So watch for that to break the downside. Now, if we did sweep that pivot on NQ already, honestly, ES shorts to new low of day would not be bad. You know, bare minimum, I think it has a good chance of getting to demand. I don't think it has a great chance because it could just sweep this low and bounce. Sweep this low and bounce, but I don't think this demand is going to hold if it's tested again. So essentially, the hypothesis is that it's going to get to this demand. That's the hardest part, and then breaking the demand is not nearly the hardest part. But let's see. This rising wedge has a width of, well, has a width of yay, which puts the potential of this break to here, which puts us at demand. That's kind of the stars aligning. I really don't want to go short though because we missed that big pivot, but you know, I don't know. I may be willing, but I'd rather not. Like I'd rather just enter longs and play to the pivot because that's the big kahuna of today. Just looked up $200 a month. Yeah, you know, Discord prices, you know, Biden's America. Inflation's getting out of hand. I keep forgetting about inflation because I'm detached from reality trading wise, but lots of Discords now are about 150. Most are above $100 a month. Shorts aren't looking bad, guys, because I'm thinking NQ's at least going to get to this low. And after it gets to this low, you know what? That's not even an X. I did put an X on that sell because it did continue higher, but it missed my pivot. So if I extended that PT even further, that would have been an issue. Yeah, shorts aren't bad. I just don't really want to enter, honestly, because you know, I have that conflicting analysis. I think now actually The second hour may be good, and the third hour may be bad. Because the first hour wasn't very great. That's starting to, this would be a decent area for it to start chopping. So I don't know. Yeah, shorts to demand break on ES could work if it goes a bit lower. I could be triggered in, but I don't think I'm going to take it. I think I'm going to sit it out. Winzuck does when he does a morning option, so I stick to SPY and QQQ. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, too bad this morning was shitty, but it's whatever. Hopefully tomorrow morning's better. Yesterday was pretty good though. Yesterday was pretty good, and futures wasn't that great. Today options wasn't that great, and futures is pretty good. So far, I feel like I've been in here forever, and it's only been an hour. We were here for 2.5 hours yesterday. Crayon just locked in his 9th green day in a row. Congratulations, dude. That is awesome. That is awesome. No, I'm gonna do it in a bit after this, Cosimo. So that short hypothesis is playing out. Honestly, guys, I just don't really think I'm willing to enter it. Because here's the thing: if I enter shorts here, yes, it could work out. That would be my trade. But if we stop out, I'm gonna want to enter longs for this pivot, and that exposes me to 2 potential losses in a row. I'm not willing to take 2 losses in a row because then my green day goes to break even and all my hard work is gone. So I think I'd be willing to go short if we come down to demand and then bounce off of it and then go down. I think I'd rather be willing to take a short where the odds of it rebounding are much less. I'm not willing to expose myself to 2 potential losses in a row. Of course, I'm willing to win twice, but that's not how we make our judgment calls. So let's hang out for now. I'll draw this trend line on NQ and see if it wants to break it to the downside. This looks like what it's fishing for. That trend line's far away. Shorts are not a bad trade at all. NQ got to where I said it was likely to go, which is this low here. Let's see if it bounces from that. Yeah, Crayon. Keyword there is fear. Don't have it. Who cares? If your account needs a pullback, let it happen. Because you know how you are most of the time. Don't let the low probability events destroy the reputation of your high probability trades. Do you have a channel where you post your daily, weekly, monthly journal, extra fee? I don't post my journal, but I do review my trades at nighttime, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And that short is working out if you took it. That's a lot of red candles in a row on NQ. How many is that? 39, 9 red candles in a row. Typically 7 is the max you're going to get. All right, so if we can bounce and invalidate the bounce, do something like this, we'll have a little head and shoulders. I'd be willing to take a short. You could go short right now. I'm just unwilling to do it. I'll make it 10 red candles in a row on NQ. Did not like that supply. Hell, even NQ shorts to this low are starting to look good. That low's pretty dang far away. I'm going to hang out on my phone until I get closer to get triggered into a trade. I can't enter if it's just going to keep going straight down. I'm unwilling. It's got to bounce and invalidate that bounce. And depending on what the risk to reward looks like from there, I can potentially enter. Looks like ES is just going to get there. It's freaking dumping. Type in chat if you guys are taking this short or you guys have been in shorts during this downside. You're missing a 30-minute demand on NQ. Yeah, possibly just formed, but there's a delay on yeah. There is another demand, but I don't really take it into account. It formed during this chop. Doesn't really mean anything to me. Now, if I were super lucky, this would bounce here on ES and I'd be able to enter short, but we will see. Yeah, I forgot to take it down, so it's active until like market goes today. Yeah. Yep. That bounce didn't last very long on ES. Looks like it's going to break demand here, unfortunately. Honestly, Bree, none of this demand really means much to me. I mean, this one's okay. Yeah, I could consider this 31. I don't know why it doesn't really show up on the 1 minute unless it's been there for some time. Um, yeah, it's not bad to consider. It's just chopping. So like, yeah, there's demand here, but it can bounce anytime. It's just been in this area for a while. I don't think too much of it, but this chopping up is bearish. Obviously, I'm bearish for ES to break demand. It looks like that is playing out. So unfortunately, I'm not going to make any money on this downside, but I can still make money on NQ downside if we do bounce. But we've put in like 14 red candles in a row. What the hell? Hang on. 44, 32. They have to wait. 1, 2. Yeah, 14 red candles in a row. Are you kidding me? So bare minimum. Um, Yeah, kind of bare minimum as I can enter here. I'm willing to enter on this bounce early. I don't want to wait for it to reject, to be honest. It's out of the usual. Typically, I'll let it bounce and invalidate a lot of that bounce. But in this specific case, with it getting as close to low a day as it did, honestly, if it just gets a little bit higher, I'm going to hop in. I think NQ's at least going to clear the high of this selling wick here. I hope it does, which would be this. Actually, hang on. There's a 23.6 at. Oh, it's there. Ah, yes, might not bounce high enough for me to get in. I literally, if it just gets to here, I'm gonna fill it. It's a bet I'm willing to take. It's not gonna do it. I tried. I tried really hard. Didn't even needed to reject most of the bounce. I wanted to fill on the bounce, but it literally just couldn't even get a candle and a half for a bounce. It's so bearish. By some miracle, if it comes back up, I'll enter, but it's very unlikely. Looks like it's ready to break low day. There's no higher tier J Luna. I don't have tiers in this specific Discord. Um, there may be some coming. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but no, it's just the indicator and then the premium. That's it. So you got the supply and demand indicator, which is glorious, and then you got premium. There's no tiers. However, the WAP page is kind of misleading regarding the indicator. The details got screwed up when WAP made the new dashboard. WAP keeps just changing shit. I don't know why. Like, leave it alone. Um, so that needs to be fixed today. It may be a miracle, folks. I may enter short. It didn't get to my order. Are you kidding me? I removed it. If it does bounce, I think it'll bounce a bit higher than my order. Because the 23.6 on ES is further away. Yeah, it's almost there. No, it touched it. Okay. So we're still in a strong downtrend as long as it holds this. The perfect world, just get right to the 38.2, but NQ kind of looks like the next candle is going to be a bright green candle and squeeze to here. It's almost like I called it. It's almost like we know how to read a chart, huh? Oh man, ES is too weak, guys. Oh, it's so damn weak. I tried filling even closer. It did not fill me. Oh, there's a bounce. All right, well, I filled it. Let's see what happens. Stop loss order was axe selling average down order, which would not be good. Let me just document this real quick. I think he's bouncing a bit too hard. It may, ES might get all the way up to my stop. This demand might hold another bounce. I don't think it's very likely at all. Um, but NQ's bouncing kind of hard. It really liked that 45-minute demand on NQ. Really likes it. And this candle's opening bullish as well. I think shorts may have gotten too greedy and we may just squeeze all the way back up. That would suck if that's the case, but we will see. Very rare that I enter during a bounce like that. Of course, this is the one time that I do and it just immediately goes against me. Yeah, ES flips super strong. I think this is going to stop out. I think we may end up going all the way back up. Jeez, that is so bullish of a candle on ES. Well, if we come back down, I'll be back in, but I assume it's probably going to stop out now. And I'm going to be looking to go long on the NASDAQ for that 268.50 level because that level looks like it may still be in play. Of course, it could be a huge head and shoulders on NQ, but I'm starting to think we're going to squeeze all the way back up and this demand is going to live to see another day. Surprisingly. Another bullish candle open on NQ. Looks like we're going to continue up. Unless new sellers step in here, but I think there's only about like a 30% chance that happens. Still looks pretty bullish. It started flipping green there, but it lost it. I'd be surprised if we reverse still. Looks like it may want to put in like a cup and handle, but you know, sellers did started flipping green like I said it was likely to do, but seller stepped in at the end of that candle, completely just slammed it down. So maybe there's a chance. I do hope that this candle does close a deep red, not because it's very likely to get to PT, but it's because I would be entering here anyways. The big risk of this trade was me entering early. And if it can close down here, then me entering early had no effect on the result of my P&L because I would have had to enter anyways. But I'd still mark it next because it would have been better to wait. Nope, didn't close bearish. That's bullish on NQ. That's a long entry. That's a long trade. If the candle stays like this candle can go quite a ways. I don't know. It depends. I wouldn't enter until the last 10 seconds of the candle, but if that candle stays bright green, which it's not at the moment, but if it stays, and that's very concerning that ES is that strong, but um, if NQ stayed bright green like that, that's a long entry. That's a cup and handle. You know, but that's the second time a green candle got completely just slammed down towards the end of the candle. I mean, it happened with this one too. Usually I can't tell if that's bullish or bearish because obviously it's bearish because bears are stepping in, but also if bulls continue holding it, that's a lot of shorts entering right now, and that's a lot of fuel for a short squeeze. So it's pretty neutral. That just means we're getting ready to move in one direction or another. Now, if it keeps invalidating what the bears invalidated, so if it keeps doing that and, we get a green candle right here, invalidates it, slams back down, but comes back up, then I think it's going to short squeeze. If it doesn't do that, we could stop loss rate. I don't like how strong ES is. As you can see, it's not going down nearly as much as NQ is right now. Or more so just on this candle. ES isn't actually much stronger at all. That's just as far as the proportion of this bounce that it's invalidated. I don't know, NQ bounced a bit high. If NQ bounced not as high, I would be very bearish for this trend line to break. But with how high NQ bounced, I don't know if it's going to be able to get all the way back down. Even if it does, it kind of looks like it's going to bounce again. But if it just bounced like this and then started curling down and get this extra momentum, I would be pretty bearish, not only for it to break this low, but for it to break the trend line. This drop was very interesting. This was very bullish, very strong trend, looked great, and this drop just completely was against all odds, in my opinion. So, I mean, a similar thing could be happening now. And that's an NQ short entry. If I wasn't in a trade, I would very much so consider NQ shorts, not to this low as it's too close, not to this low as it's too far. I'd probably just use fibs and play to the 61.8. Never mind, I play to the 78.6. Fairly high probability there. Does look like ES is continuing to increase in strength. This 30-minute demand is surprisingly strong. And right as I say that, it bounces really hard. Yeah, ES is way too strong at the moment. Kind of wish I was in NQ shorts instead. This may turn into the same thing that happened yesterday. We start oscillating, and before we continue down more, which did end up stopping me out, and kind of looks like ES wants to try to do that. But regardless, I'm gonna hang on my phone till either my stop loss hits or we get back into demand. Right now, it doesn't look too good. ES is too strong. NQ is too likely to bounce at the moment. It's looking like it's gonna want to stop out. NQ looks so much better than ES does. NQ is way weaker. ES looks like it's on a mission to stop me out right now, but we'll see. Just keep hanging out until something interesting happens. Bree says take a break. Pretty much all of today has been a break. All my trades have been pretty much a break with how long they've been. Bree, I just now realized when you said take a break, you were not talking to me. Oops. ES is still stronger than NQ. NQ is a clear as day bear pennant, but ES isn't looking too hot. I don't think it's going to matter. I think if ES ends up stopping me out, NQ is going to go back up with it. I don't think NQ is going to be that weak. But right now, NQ still looks way better. In fact, if I wasn't in a trade, I'd be entering NQ right now. Doesn't mean it's going to work out, but it just looks really good. Hell, I mean, if it gets to this trend line, my concern is that it's going to get to this trend line and bounce, and then it's going to turn into a falling wedge. But if it doesn't, and it can get to this trend line and get a small bounce but validate that, I think we're going to continue down through my trend line to the next low. But right now, if ES was the same strength as NQ, ES would be down here right now. It's not. So that's why I'm thinking ES is going to stop me out. I don't know how this demand, after being tested as much times as it has, is this freaking strong. But I don't know. I guess it's just magical. ES looks like it's one small NQ bounce away from just rocketing to the upside. Regardless, this is still bearish consolidation on ES, so it's not like I'm bullish on it. It just sucks that it's so strong and not going down with NQ. With how incredibly strong ES is, I think longs right now have a higher chance of playing out than shorts do, even though this is bearish consolidation. ES is so ridiculously strong. I cannot believe how strong ES is right now. It looks nearly guaranteed to stop me out. And unfortunately, that's really unfortunate because NQ is totally going the right direction. But it looks pretty much guaranteed to stop me out. I cannot believe that ES is going up at the moment. Unfortunate. Look how big this drop is, and ES is holding a green candle. This is actually insane. I think this is the strongest I've seen ES all week. Look at this. This is ridiculous. I should be like at my PT right now. What a scam. Whatever. I was let it do its thing. I'm probably going to re-enter shorts though on NQ when it stops me out. Because I'm very bearish on NQ. It just sucks that ES is just magically strong. It's like so insanely strong for no reason. Isn't this so much fun, guys? Just waiting for my trade to stop out. It's a blast. Do you go live this often? Yes, I do. Sorry, I'm telling you guys. By the end of the week, I'm gonna have all the chats up at the same time. I'm gonna be way more responsive. But I literally just had my head down, been on my phone this entire time, waiting for this trade to stop me out because ES decided not, just didn't want to go down with NQ. Now it looks like it's gonna stop me out. NQ looks so good to bounce. Wait a minute. Here's the problem. I'm gonna have to re-enter shorts when ES stops me out. That's the problem. NQ didn't even make a lower low. This is literally a perfect double bottom on NQ. I'm gonna have to re-enter shorts when this stops me out. That is unfortunate. ES is the bane of my existence for this trade. What a freaking scam. Expecting it to break to the upside, and then hopefully that drags NQ up enough that I can actually enter NQ short. at a good average. Something like up here would be nice. Well, really, here's the thing. I would enter NQ short, but the PT would still be ES to break demand. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. But should stop me out any second now. I'm gonna honestly hang out and wait to re-enter this trade. Um, Assuming that does get to my stop loss because NQ has a really nice perfect double bottom. Boring as hell. Got absolutely scammed, man. If ES remained just even the same as NQ, it would have hit PT. So it would have got all the way down here. There's no way this demand would have held once it got down here. So got absolutely robbed on that trade. Should have been a green trade. Looks like NQ kind of wants to grind up though. Watch for a short squeeze on it. There's a lot of shorts playing right now. I think it's fairly likely that it short squeezes a decent ways. I took a fairly small loss there. Yeah, only 11 ticks, but I'm just gonna have to re-enter. If NQ drops, I'm gonna re-enter. Or if ES invalidates most of this move, I'm gonna re-enter. So I will wait for that. And you get red candle, I'm in. Doesn't look like Inky wants to drop yet. Looks like it wants to keep squeezing to the upside. This candle in itself is pretty bullish. So it looks like it's at least going to get to here. We'll see what it does afterwards. No, maybe not. I mean, it just got validated. Oh, wait, never mind again. Oh, that's weird. Lots of volatility picking up for some reason. Is there something I'm missing, like in the schedule, maybe? 1:30. No, 12:35. We have someone's speaking, but no one important. Well, if this candle closes right, I'm gonna hop in. It's still a lot weaker than ES. I just don't know if it could be an inverse head and shoulders. That's kind of the problem. Yeah, it's kind of trying to get a buying wick. You guys see the inverse head and shoulders here. But it is indeed closing right. So I did indeed fill it. Got a very tight stop loss on it just because the inverse head and shoulders. I'm willing to re-enter one more time. This is the first PT. I'm not putting a hard PT there because I want to see how it drops and I'll extend it out. Um, Let me just document this real quick. No, looks like the inverse head and shoulders, so it looks like I'm going to stop out. It's kind of just enough to get me into the trade, but that was the only concern of this trade was that inverse head and shoulders. So, yep, I stopped out. Well, that was quick. Price action's really going to shit. I'll give it one more chance if it comes back down. Pretty close to even on the day. I'm only up by like a fraction of one green trade, so. Regardless, still bearish. ES is still kind of climbing though. I don't know how high ES is going to go. I'd be surprised if this run is sustained. Um, it's just too choppy. Looks like it just barely got my stop loss. I do think it's probably going to continue up at least above this high though. I am considering re-entering here. And I did take it. It's just, I feel like I'm just going to stop at again though. It's a good time to trade light size because price action looks like the perfect storm to stop you out 30 times before it actually moves. It's consolidating way too much. and probably bend this trend line to, yeah, that's pretty decent trend line. NQ looks completely able to drop. ES though, like how high is ES gonna go? Like where is ES heading to right now? Where are you going, dude? You have no liquidity up there. Not until freaking high of day, almost. Not until all the way up here. This is where you need to go, buddy. You need to go here. NQ looks like it wants a bounce. Kind of looks like an inverse head and shoulders right now. ES looking like bullish consolidation. NQ actually looks great to bounce. I think we may go for a run here. If this candle closes right, it'll look pretty good. NQ's making lower lows with buying wicks. It's got an inverse head and shoulders, which is here. And then let me draw or what? Kind of what it's looking like. But if this closes with a selling wick, I think it's going to keep heading down. Yeah, I'm in NQ, but I'm light with a very tight stop. I'm not really liking it anymore now that NQ is trying to put in this inverse head and shoulders. So I think this is just going to sweep my stop. Yeah, I forgot to draw it. I think this is... No, maybe not. That was a really nice candle, but... I feel like it's just going to sweep my stop and then go right back down. It's really sad that this just barely got my stop. I should still be in one short. Never mind. Now it looks like it's going to stop me out. There's no point in really drawing it because it just looks like it's going to stop out. So this is my PT, but it's not a hard PT. Really, my PT is somewhere down here. My big PT is ES to break demand. But ES does not want to drop. Look at it. It does not want to drop. There's no plans on dropping. This is bullish consolidation on ES. Looks good to continue up. And the problem is NQ is trying to drop, but NQ looks like it's kind of gearing for a short squeeze. This is a possible falling wedge, and it's chopping down right now, which is rather bullish. So if NQ is going to actually drop, ES is going to need to break to the downside, which doesn't look like it's going to happen. Doesn't look very good. Price action looks terrible at the moment. The only good thing about price action right now is just looking at this NQ chart is this PT. NQ would look a lot better if it came all the way up here and then came down. But it's hard for me to be confident. Also, it's like this isn't even, I don't have a hard PT here. I don't think I'm going to sell here because I'm bearish on ES to break demand. And at this point, with how incredibly strong ES is, if it did come down here to this demand, that would put NQ probably all the way down here. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet as far as exiting this trade if it's profitable. ES still looks like it wants to break to the upside. I'm going to hang out on my phone. I don't want to look at this price action. Looks terrible. ES is not. I don't even think ES is going to let this trade at PT. I don't know what the hell ES is doing, but they are going opposite directions right now. It is screwing up my chart. 2 YouTube questions I tried. I'll look at YouTube right now. Um, you also pay 200 a month for trade to close. That is crazy, dude. That's a lot of money. That's going down the toilet. How many alerts come through with the premium account? I mean, the option alerts are the same. Yeah, the options alerts are the same. It's the futures that is different. Obviously, there's other analysts too, but how much are you making a day? Depends on the day, dude. Some days I lose my ass. Some days I get rich. I don't know. Man, you know what? If ES can drop, this trade can be so damn big. Look how bearish NQ is. Keep in mind, my PT's at that double bottom, but I'm not actually planning on selling there. I want ES to break demand, this is kind of a problem for me. Because ES is nowhere, like, how are you going up right now, ES? Like, how are you going up while NQ is in the shitter? I'm concerned that NQ is going to sweep this PT that I have and bounce, and I'm not going to sell, but, like, ES hasn't even began dropping at all. Look, it just hit PT. I did not have a hard order there. If you guys did, then you're out. I kind of wish I had a hard order there now because that just swept. I might have just got scammed. That just swept in an extremely bullish fashion. That is a bullish candle. Damn. Right when I was thinking about putting a physical order down, it did not do it. Actually, never mind. Never mind. NQ didn't even hit the PT. MNQ didn't even hit the PT. Oh, you know what? The NQ chart is different. This low on it, MNQ is a lot lower. I put it below this low right here, which is a discrepancy. Yeah, I may take an unnecessary loss. That's a really bullish reversal candle. Hopefully not, but yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem, unfortunately. It's a very big problem. You guys see that on MNQ too? Yeah, it got one of them, but it didn't. So pretty much the MNQ chart looks like this. I didn't have a physical PT here. I have it lower and it missed it. But that is one hell of a bullish candle on NQ. It swept to the pivot. It got a volume spike, got a nice buying wick, a nice big green body. That looks great to break to the upside and run. Unfortunately. It's very fortunate. And ES is just kind of going up. So if you traded NQ there, you made money. MNQ, I got absolutely scammed. Just document that. Yeah, guys, it's starting to look like ES is just truly bullish, and it's gonna break this trend line to the upside. It is on a mission. I don't know when it's gonna come down. I don't know why it's going up with so much strength, but it is it's doing it. That looks so bearish. And man, if ES can drop, NQ is gonna dump. NQ does not want to be up here. Like ES is dragging it up by its heels right now. I can't figure out a good trend line for this freaking. I guess I'll just connect these 2 points. I cannot figure out a good trend line for the life of me. Okay, well, ES is far away enough now. Yeah, my order is at 194.25. That's where that's at. Looks like it's gonna get there. 5. Yeah, that's a pretty small win, but whatever. Well, I was gonna extend my PT further away because I'm bearish for ES to break this freaking demand, but it's nowhere near there. My PT just filled. So I just sold right here. I will be re-entering short if ES comes back down to here. But the problem is I'm unwilling to hold now. It's probably, I wouldn't be surprised if NQ is so weak. It would be very normal for me to assume, okay, ES is probably going to get a nice pullback. But after watching how ES is just like the man of freaking steel, just walking upwards while NQ's dumping, um, I'm just not confident. I'm not willing to hold through a potential falling wedge on the Nasdaq. So I took profits there, even though I'm still very bearish on the Nasdaq. Got really lucky there. I thought I was going to stop out. Very, very, very lucky. I'll wait and see. I'll hang out a little bit longer. If ES does come all the way down, I'm very willing to short for that demand break, but I'm starting to think it's more of a dip buy, guys. Like, ES is just way too strong, but we'll see. If it comes down to here, I'm willing to give it another shot. And then the next PT for NQ would be down here. You missed your break even quarter by one tick. There you go, Kazumu. You lucked out, dude. You freaking lucked out. So, I'm starting to think he is going to just go up. I think it's just kind of meant to be. Obviously, a 30-minute demand is going to break someday, but not convinced it's going to break right now. NQ's going to have to fall quite a ways, and it's not impossible for NQ to do. Um, but I don't know if it wants to. Why is it showing me a 2-hour demand? Okay, give me a second, guys. I gotta do something. ES longs look pretty good. Kind of distracted at the moment. Because I have a new version of the indicator that may not be doing this. There shouldn't be a two-hour demand there. It doesn't show on bigger time frames. Honestly, I'm kind of liking NQ longs. It's been weak this entire time, which would sway me away from entering. But like, is it really gonna stay weak? Is that really gonna happen? I don't think so. It looks pretty damn good. We got the lower lows. We got the liquidity sweeps. It invalidated most of this drop. We have a falling wedge here. It looks great. It looks great to run. Not gonna lie. It looks really good. I really do like NQ longs. I think I'm gonna give it a shot. Pretty tight stop loss too. Nothing major. And you could play it all the way up to here. Or you can take ES all the way to here. Not sure which is more likely at the moment. I just have a hard time believing ES is going to remain as strong as it is. I think I'm favoring ES longs more. Because NQ looks ready to break to the upside and ES has been stronger. I think this is a pretty valid trade. You can even put your stop loss extremely tight. Like, I'm fine even putting my stop loss right there. Yeah, I filled it. We'll see what happens. It would really suck if ES flips weak here. It looks like NQ is going to break out to the upside. But the thing is, though, NQ's just been so much weaker. I don't want to commit to NQ. It's been horrendously weak, which was good for my shorts. But it's been so weak. I don't trust that it's just going to... I mean, I want to believe that it's going to flip strong. I do think it's going to. But logically, to take that risk, it doesn't make too much sense. But damn, I wish I entered NQ, because look at that candle. There's a break to the upside. I'm jealous of you guys who entered NQ. I really did want to. Really did want to. That's not too bad. I'll mess with the indicator right after this and see what I can see. Be nice to get one good move. We had some good moves, Donkey. This was a great move. This was a phenomenal move. This was a really good move too, but I couldn't really capitalize on it. This would be a good move if NQ wasn't so conflicting and it swept demand. I'd be all over if it swept this demand. See, look, now NQ's kind of flipping back to being weak. This is why I was unwilling to commit. I'm just leaving this NQ potential trade up to compare how each of them would have done. And honestly, you could put your PT at supply, but like I don't really want to. It's already a pretty good risk reward. But NQ's already flipping weak after sweeping just one minor high. I wanted it to at least get to here. I don't know if it wants to, though. It could put in an inverse head and shoulders. We'll see if it wants to do that. That's potential reversal candle on ES. This candle opened bullish, though, so I'm not too worried about it, but that doji is evidence of a possible reversal. NQ's putting in a very small bull pennant, though, and ES is remaining strong, so I still like it. Oh yeah, it's totally having issues. Okay, well, small bullpen on NQ broke to the upside. I'm back. I don't know if you guys were able to hear me during that, but my Wi-Fi went out. It finally just reloaded, and it's up a lot higher. So this is the bare minimum I wanted NQ to get to. This trend line is going to be pretty solid resistance for ES. This one could be as well, and it's there. I don't know which one's a better one, so you can just draw both. And normally I would put my PT, one tick above or at supply or whatever, but I'm just kind of being conservative. So we'll see. Looks like ES is finally hitting some resistance there, though. Yeah, NQ would have been a better trade, that's for sure. Would be up a decent amount more if I traded NQ. I had a feeling it was going to flip stronger, but that falling wedge analysis was really nice. That was obvious, though, like so obvious. Hell, it was super bullish right here, and we got lucky. I got so lucky that it came right back down, but after it swept that, yeah, that was very obviously bullish. Let's see if ES at least gets to this high. And obviously, yeah, I could extend my PT further. I don't want to do it, though. I want to be as conservative as humanly possible. And plus, I'm kind of over my time limit as well. So, still one trade under my trade, two trades under my trade limit, though. So, this is the next PT on NQ. Let's take the width of that falling wedge and see its potential. Conservative width would be here to here. Yeah, it looks good to get to this upper supply. If you took this trade. Yeah, it looks like it is a lot stronger than ES. Now, I knew it. I knew it. I would have just hated myself too much if I entered NQ and just flipped back to being weak, knowing that ES has been so much stronger this entire time and way less reactive to downside. It was just less risky for me to take ES. Let's see if ES can get to my PT, though. I have it like the closest possible PT. Yeah, there you go. Let me just document this real quick. I'm done for the day. That day turned pretty good. I got freaking scammed here. I wish this didn't perfectly sweep my stop loss, or it would have even been a better day. Um, yes, got to supply NQ, got to this, so you did pretty well if you took this NQ trade. Yeah, you made a lot. You made a lot more. Uh, yeah, you made like almost twice as much as I did from ES. Give me 1 second. Let me document this. Is that 90, 60? All the way up to supply. That's why you can't be attached to your things. You got to stop out. I really didn't want to stop out of this short, and I really didn't want to have to stop out again, but you got to. I didn't want to stop out of this ES short too. It was a scam. It should have broke demand. It was very likely to do it. NQ was going down. It was perfect. Just ES was strong. You got to stop out no matter how confident you are. And that was a huge example of losses are nothing more than business expenses that make you available for that next winning trade. If I didn't stop out of that ES short, not only would I possibly have a blown up account, but I would have missed out on that green. So felt my psyche start to deteriorate though going for this short the second time. So I'm gonna have to take note of that. Payout today. Type of chat, you guys green today? Started out with an annoying loss, had 2 more losses, but had a lot more wins, had 4 wins, so it was pretty good. And this one just unlucky, man. It perfectly swept. Like my loss, my stop loss, it filled me right here. So that was bullshit, and I had to re-enter. So one of those losses doesn't really count. The other 2 losses, though, had great stop losses. Great stop losses. Both of them. Both of them had fantastic stop losses. Would have blown up if I didn't honor them. One of those losses, the hypothesis ended up being correct. Just barely swept it. Green, green, green. What about everyone else? Type in chat. We have 40 people in here on the Discord. I need to send a picture for announcement. So type in chat if you're green or red. If all you guys are red, then I'm not sending a picture. Screw you guys. Well, looks like you guys just don't want to participate today. Shame on you guys, but I got a little bit of people. I got a whopping like 8 people. I'm gonna cut it off right after Reams. How about that? Actually, it's just kind of 50-50. Type in chat. Are you those of you that are red? Are you red from the first hour of price action? Because this session has been fairly easy to be green. Yes, I still got scammed, but you know, I had to take a loss here. This was an easy short to take to the low. This was an easy run to take advantage of. This short was easy, but I was unwilling because we missed my big pivot, and I was bullish for that to hit. And you know what, guys? I still think it may hit. That's a really big falling wedge. Longs up here to this high may not be bad. Like it's starting to look like it's gonna happen. Not gonna lie. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna happen. But regardless, the price action was pretty good. Very minimal chop. It's just I got unlucky here. This was meant to be a red trade. This trade right here, destined to be red. Missed out on this short here, but entered here. This was unlucky, and then this was unlucky. So the only 2 of the losses I had were just kind of unlucky. They should have hit. And then the rest of it was green. Pretty easy to decipher the price action. So type in chat if you guys who are red, what did it happen during the first hour when price action was more difficult? Wonton says red early on and crawled my way back into green. Gotcha. Dev says first hour for me. Yep, that's what I was thinking. Because I'm like, looking back on the price action, it's pretty easy to be green. Obviously, I still had to get scammed a bit and had to be annoyed, but the price action ended up doing what I thought it's going to do. And hell, it looks like we're going to hit that PT. And you know what? I'm pretty tempted to take the trade and take the long, but you know what? I'm past my time limit. I don't think I'm going to do it. I was only supposed to be in there for 2 hours. I'm going on 2.5 hours. I think I'm going to sit it out, but I'm still bullish for this day. And I am tempted to enter. So what would be really nice and really good for my psychology is if it comes up and then goes down. That way I know that if I gave in, I would have stopped out, which reinforces good psychology. But regardless, I'm bullish for this 268 level still. But all right, I will see you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed this section. It was a bright green day. Almost 3 times as bright as yesterday, so I'm very happy about that. We're green by about 2.5 to 3 green trades, which I love. And yeah, leaving you guys off with some TA. I'm bullish on NQ to 21,268. But according to my rules, I have to be done trading. I was actually supposed to be done trading about 25 minutes ago, so not going to participate in this, even though I want to. If you guys do end up participating in it and you make money, let me know because that would be awesome. But best case for me is that it never hits today and it hits tomorrow. That way I can trade it. All right, I'll see you guys later. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'm gonna, in a bit early this afternoon, I'm gonna post the futures review and the options review from yesterday to the YouTube channel. And yeah, we have a study session later tonight. But all right, I'll see you guys later. Good luck if you continue to trade.